maybe that changes right now. Who knows? But they've got themselves a couple of picks in a row here and a lot of different directions that they can sort of take this draft in. So, well, feels like at this point they should probably just take a Mariano hero just before they lose everyone left in that pool. But not 100% sure what it is they're doing with this. We've seen that Nature's Prophet very uh, significantly in the hands of Costabile as a carry option. So it could be that Infinity are looking to maybe replicate that, put Lumiere on that hero, or I don't know. Could they be trying Mariano on an offlane Prophet here? I'm not sure how that one works either, but it feels like it'll have a similar overall style to the carry.
Well, and when you see Dawnbreaker NP picked up, the first thing you probably say to yourself is, well, they're global. They're going to be everywhere. I feel like DogChamp should still pick up the Pango in this situation. But yeah, that's where Infinity with this Dawnbreaker, this is them keeping their options pretty wide open. We've seen Lumiere actually take it as the carry Dawnbreaker. I think more likely we'll probably see Prada take it as the 5 Dawnbreaker. Just give Lumiere the one Nature's Prophet, as we've seen, like we always mentioned, Costabile so successfully proving us earlier. Then you have that eye of still slot it into the 4 position, and then you are still looking for a Mariano hero. But again, that's where I think DogChamp should continue to ban out those offlaners. They could really force us into kind of an awkward situation, make the Dawnbreaker into not the best offlaner, just kind of an option that Mariano's okay with. And then, well, you do have the problem of giving not too many carry bans over to your opponent. And Lumiere, there certainly are a few carries that he could still whip out here if he needs to. But that's also where I feel like I kind of know Lumiere. I feel like if he really wants to, he could just be the Dawnbreaker in this situation. But my Dota brain also tells me that that sounds kind of bad to play NP versus CK, and it's like whatever. It'd be so cool though, but cool is not winning. I guess is the moral of that story.
Fortunately, sometimes you get the stars align, and what's cool also wins you a game. But more often than not, something's cool because it's also a little bit dumb. You can enjoy it from time to time, but maybe not right now if Infinity secure the win. But we'll see. I mean, there's still some question marks in their lineup, so interesting to finally get a grip on who's going where. In the meantime, though, Infinity ban out the Night Stalker at the start of Phase 3, so they're looking at this CK as being more of that Stone Bank carry option for Dog.
Yeah, and uh, I like the Ember still. You can't really not like the Ember. I think at this stage of Dota, that's your global, that's your Infinity. Do not have a lot of lockdown right now. Hero that should be able to do a lot. I am just a little bit concerned with their team fight right now. Aside from the chains, it is really going to be your Chaos Knight running up, finding the Reality Rift, getting those stuns started. It's just where I wonder if the fight gets past that scale, past that scope, grows a little bit too big. Then what do you actually do if you're DogChamp here? It's where finding and cleanly getting onto targets becomes the name of the game. Or Infinity are just this 5-man global death ball strategy where they could be anywhere and everywhere at the same time. It's where I feel like they do need to pick up a hard farmer here for Lumiere, just give them a really nice option. They're baiting out, kind of splitting it up here. I feel like we could very easily see the Faceless Void if they want to be a little bit slower, have that setup, and just kind of hope that other things happen around the map. Or they get weird, and we have the carried H's Prophet. We have Prada going to that Dawnbreaker. They pick up a Mariano hero right now. We've got a lot of options here still for Infinity as they get to decide really what's the best choice for them.
A lot of choices, and they got a lot of time as well. Over a minute on that reserve clock compared to the 1 second that Dog. So you can maybe draw this out, think it over a little bit, really be sure of what it is that they want to run and who they want picking up what hero here. But let's see. You mentioned Lumiere with the Faceless Void. Still would be a pretty impressive option for them. Would give you that sort of definitive teamfight spell that DogChamp's lineup really doesn't have for themselves, right? So you would at least have that advantage there. But I don't know. The fact that they're using so much of this reserve time right now, ET, makes me think that maybe they're thinking about something a little bit weirder.
Yeah, it's hard to say, and I'm thinking of other carries. You know, you've got the Naga, you've got the Ursa. I think Lumiere Ursa would be pretty sick here as well. We've seen Ursa versus CK before. And that is a Mariano hero. So it looks like we are going to get the lame setup. Io Legion and NP Dawnbreaker are lane. Still get a Prada Dawnbreaker, which is pretty exciting for Infinity side. Hopefully that's how they lock in. They don't make things really weird and strange, but that's what makes the most sense to me. Now, picking Elsie into Bane is a little bit rough. At least you have the Dispel for that actual Fiend script, and then Ursa's the pickup for DogChamp. Now, okay, Stonebeck is going to play that. I was going to say, uh, usually Ollie would be slotting that in here if Ollie is, on two based, but because he's on DogChamp, he gets to take the CK. But uh, in that LC versus Bane matchup, of course, every single duel that you go is going to be met with a Nightmare, and every single Fiend script is going to be met with the Press the Attack. It's the immovable object, unstoppable force dilemma. But that is where, at the very least, with this Legion Commander, you're going to be setting up kills on the side map, setting up kills where every single hero on the map can join you. And now you can only get a duel every minute on the one target, but that's where I am a little bit scared of Infinity's Death Ball right now. It's really going to be DogChamp dealing with the blows and hopefully not falling too far behind in the lanes here, but that's where I think Infinity are just going to play so quick. I'm a little bit terrified for DogChamp, to be honest. And this is the type of game as well, where if you're DogChamp, you lose your lanes, your opponents are ending the game at 20 minutes. You really don't have that easy recovery method. You're kind of stuck there.
Yeah, that has been the issue for quite a few of the teams in this event so far, is how they deal with that sort of just all-out blitz from their opponents. More often than not, those teams have sort of fallen behind, and then they do their best to catch up and ultimately are unsuccessful. So it's a tried and true strategy here. Infinity are going to hope that it works out for them. They've got the personnel to pull it off, and pressure will be on DogChamp to respond accordingly. But, well, I mean, we'll see, right? We'll see what Ollie does on this Chaos Knight. Just kind of got pressed into service a little bit there out of the blue. Or, I don't know, I would hope so. I would assume so, because I don't know if DogChamp knew speed was going to be unavailable for them for this game. Either way, though, it's going to be an uphill battle for DogChamp.
Yeah, don't want to say they're outclassed, but it's a very difficult strategy that they are playing up against. And unfortunately for them, we get to see a Spirit playing versus that Nature's Prophet, another Ember Spirit versus the level 20 Sprout Leash. I'm excited, excited to cry. We'll see what he's actually able to do, but fingers crossed. Seeing what they do in the lanes is going to be the beginning of everything, though. Hopefully they can keep their heads up. Last time, Stonebank did an incredible job for his team on that Ursa. We'll see if he decides to turn around his build. He's been typically going for the Battle Fury, which is, I think, a stylistic aspect of his carry play. He likes to be that hard farmer. In this game specifically, being a very farmed Ursa is going to feel quite nice, even though you do throw away your Diffusal, Blink timing. It just allows Stonebank to get so much more farm out onto the map versus a team that might be pushing the issue, though. So I wonder if he is going to be taking that adjustment into account. As we see Ollie, he's going to find Prada. This is a little bit of a crazy fight, though.
That Illuminate flies through for a nice bit of damage. Prada's got to back away, but they're not really getting any further damage down there, so that was a little bit of a weird one. DogChamp pushed their way forward, and I suppose technically speaking, they're the team that controls the field, but we are 29 seconds before the horns, so controlling the field does not matter in the slightest. So it was a good attempt. They very nearly get Prada. They're going to push him back to the base a little bit. Maybe, I was going to say maybe he has to TP, but at this point I don't even think so. He could probably just walk and wouldn't really miss out on too much.
Yeah, and okay. He did the thing. Ryoya knows that there's a ward on the right side of the tower. But it's so funny now, all these SC teams are so tricky. They've been placing it to the left, to the right. They've been placing on the opposing side. It really has been everything and then some when it comes to baiting out your opponent's obs ward, even though it's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they compete for it sometimes, it feels like the bounty runs, right? If you get the extra bounty, cool. If you don't, whatever. But gives them something early on for those mid laners to try and focus in on, but in the long run that vision may not. In the meantime, see how things play out in the side lanes. Beginning bot, Nature's Prophet and Dawnbreaker is a laning matchup that I really would not have ever thought about too much, but we'll see just how annoying Prada can be trying to stay on the front line. There is always going to be that Chaos Bolt coming out from Ollie that he'll have to be wary of, but I don't know. He can do a pretty substantial amount of damage as well. And once he hits that sort of level 2 marker where we often see him try to
Oh,
get oh boy, get aggressive, as those body blocks were kind of funky, but he'll be okay. But that was very awkward. One more step in the wrong direction and could have been caught.
yeah, that was Boris. He placed the GG branch in between there, and then unfortunately it got fogged for a second, so he doesn't get the immediate Chaos Bolt, which means that Prada gets to get the Super Tango, gets to walk away, eats a lot of harass, but hey, that's where this lane, it really is just Prada giving vision for Lumiere, making sure they don't get double illuminated. Until then, it should be a lot of farming going on. This lane does get hard, though, for Ollie whenever you see Yarn decidedly rotating out, where he's going to be looking for stacks, he's going to be looking for that rune, and when he does so, the CK is going to feel the pain of that NP. But until then, it should be not so bad.
Might calm down a little bit there. While, well, we'll stop by mid for just a moment here, but this is a matchup we have seen so many times before, right? Ember versus Storm. Ryoya, though, playing a little bit further forward than usual here, so that's a bit of an advantage for him. Speaking of advantages, though, over on the other side of the map, okay, initially that looked pretty good. B9 gets first blood, you kill Genic, that's great, but Mariano gets the moment of courage proc and ends up finding that kill onto Stonebank. So first blood's still nice, but the loss of your Ursa is a bit of a setback.
Yeah, and that's where you really do not want to allow this Legion Commander to start balling out of control, especially with the IO behind. Mariano makes very good use of that overcharge. It's an offlaner that just does so much base damage. I mean, you look at Mariano sitting at 74 and Stonebank sitting at 48. It's not a very fun lane. And taking all these creeps underneath tower as well, as Stonebank is going to struggle to get these last hits. This is not a fun situation to be in, even though you kind of need to give the Ursa the XP. Last hit is just so hard.
Ona's getting in there for a denier too as well, so not a great time. B9 is
B9,
in some
he needs to
trouble.
sleep.
Yep, there it is. Genic, well, if he removes the sleep, Mariano could keep chasing, but then Io is slept under an opponent's tower. That's probably not a great look either. Stonebank, that's an interesting one. He pushed forward with the Earth Shock, and he might just die. He's
B9,
gone. What in the world was that? Mariano? Boys, what are we doing here? What's going on this one? Mariano falls. Stonebank goes down as well. That just was weird on all fronts.
yeah, you know, he thought with 5 creeps hitting him, he could, you know, get those moment of courage procs, really cool, kill Bloody Knight as well. It's where, unfortunately, level 2 brain sap, a few tower shots, and those creeps actually do a substantial amount of damage, kind of ruined Mariano's plan there, but still, nothing for Stonebank, though. He still is having quite a bad time.
Right, that's what makes that just okay for Infinity still, is that Stonebank was the one to go down first, so your Bane gets a little bit of experience. That's neat for him. He's sitting at level 4, so that could have an impact if he can reach his level 6 a little bit faster. But for the lane, Stonebank's not having the greatest of times here with those 2 early deaths.
Yeah, this is still just going to be kind of the bully situation here. Fortunately, you're not going to see them really get to those pulls in time. It's one of the things that Bloody Nine can actually play around, is that he does have this small camp to pull into pretty consistently. It's also where, unfortunately, though, Mariano just takes it instead. But this is a good situation. Removing the LC from the Ursa in lane is one of the only things they can do to kind of stabilize things. Unfortunately, though, without stacking it or setting yourself up for that large camp pull, this creep wave is very far away now from the tower, from the Ursa's tower, and it gives a nice stacking time for Genic. As bottom lane, though, Prada gets taken down. A lot of time spent. Lumiere wasn't able to get a rebuttal either, no block, but at the same time, it's a nice kill.
Yeah, Ollie able to make something happen there. Gets his first kill on the board, so this is going to be maybe a bit of an important aspect here for DogChamp, is getting that CK going a little bit earlier, because as the offlaner, he's kind of their primary playmaker unless this Ember just kind of pops off, so get him as much as you possibly can. It's still a weird lane against the Nature's Prophet, and he's not really slowing Lumiere down, but find your own, look for those early items, and see what you can get from there. As Prada, okay, goes in with the Starbreaker, a little bit of early damage, but the problem is Ollie's got a Quelling Blade, so anytime they try to sprout him, he's just going to get taken down, so instead they'll sprout Yaren, and that's a much easier kill.
Yeah, probably going to see Yarn pick up a Quelling Blade of his own, because that is unfortunate to die so easily like that. But at the same time, I'm kind of looking at to see where this Storm Spirit ends up going. Haste Rune is going to be in the hands of Ryoya, and one of the nice aspects of this matchup of the Ember versus the Storm is once you get 6 on the Ember, well, you get to Remnant and TP back home, where the Storm does not get that simple reset. Uh, as I look over at top lane and I see Bloody 9 just getting bullied. Still nothing better for this top lane, as actually Ryoya, he's come over. No chains, though. He needs to walk this out, but with the haste, should get Genic.
Gonna be the press the attack, though. He's got some wand charges.
Whoa.
Oh my god, all the remnants. That's actually all the remnants. He can't do this anymore.
Oh, if his Remnant at the rune, that's what ends up missing the kill there, because he still has a rune Remnant towards that top side. He misses, and now PP, does he get this? Yeah, that's beautifully done by him. That is just a perfect amount of overloads. Gets the courier as well. Oh boy, that was a uncharacteristic miss from Ryoya, I want to say there. Just not expecting his Remnant to dissipate or hoping that it would, and then still having the damage, but that felt like a huge whiff from him.
Yeah, unfortunate, because he threw everything he had into it, and now here are the consequences. Yaren sort of rotates over, gets caught in the river. He's no longer bot, which means Lumiere and Prada push in for an early tier 1 tower. So things are starting to spiral a little bit out of control at this point already for DogChamp. They've got to try and calm it down a bit, try and reestablish not even a lead, just sort of equal footing right now, as PP's going to go in for Ryoya. They get through that Flame Guard. He still doesn't have Searing Chain, so he really can't keep anyone locked down, and it's going to force him to retreat, but does PP want to keep going? Not really. He will back off at this point, but balance of power in this middle lane has suddenly shifted with that missed kill top.
Yeah, and that's where, unfortunately, and I guess fortunately for DogChamp, that they do have Yarn to just nuke out this wave. It's not going to be tower pressure, but it's just how many of these remnants are we going to see from Ryoya, as we need a sleep and an arcane rune. Oh no. Oh. What's going to happen now?
Find Genic. Meanwhile, Ollie's able to jump in onto Lumiere all alone in the bottom lane, and PP's been put under by the Nightmare. So this could very well be,
Perfect.
yes, the perfect moment for DogChamp. They needed that kind of desperately, and well, independent initiations there with Ollie going in bot, but everything works out okay.
Yep, this sleep from B9 was picture perfect. Gets that slight damage from Ryoya. He's just barely enough to chain him up, and really thought for a second there with the Wrath of Nature that maybe would have seen that team fight swing in the opposite direction, but that's where Stonebank needs to be so careful here. He has the Enrage, he's got the Clung Blade, no body block. Really early Enrage though. Got to be so careful now. He's doing a lot of damage, but this is where you're bringing absolutely everybody from Infinity, and I don't know if this is going to be in time enough to mess up the duel, but now B9.
Well, at the end of the day, you're not going to give up a duel win. That's got to be considered a little bit better, but Stonebank still falls. B9's not fast enough to stay out in front of Prada, and anybody? They need one more hit. Rihanna's not going to get it, though, so Bloody 9... Oh. He walks away. The problem is he still had Stonebank die there, so probably not the trade-off that they were hoping for. But on the Infinity side, I'm not really sure that they care about who they got there. It's just a matter of clearing out this top lane. They can get the tower. They could potentially get Yarn here as well, as Genic spots him, and yeah, Yarn really has no play to make here, and they're just going to let Genic handle this alone. They're not even really...
Oh no, of course not. They're saving it for the duel. But he left.
Mariano TP's
They were
away.
saving him for the duel.
That's a bigger duel, though. Hold on. You got Ryoya mid. Well, they still won't win it, and actually they won't get the kill, so never mind. Maybe you should have taken Yarn when you had the chance, but I can appreciate the ambition from Infinity, if nothing else.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's really funny to see 3 heroes not killing it, but then the grip mid?
Oh, boy.
Okay, PP is a little bit too far forward, and that's a fast kill from Ollie. Just 2-tap with the DD rune, and with this ward, really good deep vision here. He's got another chains in a second, but it's a level 1 chains. They need the follow-up, needed a body block, and Genic. Ooh.
So gonna get stunned, but this is a tier 2 tower. Yeah, they're not really looking for this fight any longer. They're gonna back away, but they do have a nice opportunity to get some damage onto the T1. They're just gonna start hacking away at it. They got a siege creep to help, so the glyph comes out. Is that enough for Infinity to actually regroup, though? It looks like for now they might be looking for it. PPTP's in, Zip's way far forward, and Now they've got that Solar Guardian coming in. They're looking for the fight. They catch B9. They get the stun onto Yarn. They'll duel him up. Instant kill and instant win. And Ollie, yeah, thinks better of that one.
Isn't that just so cool, though? You see PP zip in. You think he's overshooting the zip onto the supports because it's during the daytime, or you think he misses, but it's actually just to set up the Solar Guardian to get the stun onto the Coddle. It's the little things, like I always say, but it's just cool little Dota stuff that we still see. New things every single day.
Pretty slick there as they find those 2 kills. Mariano did get his first duel win as well. 3 attempts, but they finally sort of hit home. And to be honest, while Mariano just got his first duel win, they got a kill out of his previous, or one of his previous 2 duels. So as long as you're finding the kills, the duel damage is kind of supplementary, especially at a level 1 ult. So Mariano's far more interested in making plays right now as opposed to just getting some damage for himself. And let's pick up here. That is the Blink Dagger. So need him to make plays. The Blink Dagger sure as hell is going to help.
Yeah, and not just making plays, but also countering the plays, like the chains, like the CK stun. Unfortunately, Prada, I should just go down here. It's not the fastest kill, but probably he's going to get that. Yep,
Uh-oh.
It's perfect from him. But yeah,
Sleep.
the Nightmare. Super nice.
Mariano, not a whole lot he could do there with that many heroes going on to him. So DogChamp are still finding some openings here, and they were looking towards mid, but PP's able to zip away. But I like that DogChamp aren't getting intimidated at this point by this opposing lineup. They are still looking to be the team on the sort of offensive themselves, and the only issue at this point is that they're not putting much pressure onto Lumiere. The Nature's Prophet just continues to farm. He's working towards his BKB, and once he starts getting some damage and some durability, he is going to push those lanes, and you're going to have to deal with that as there's a duel down bot. Stonebank's going to get hit up. They're not going to be able to win it, but if they can find the kill, again, I think they're going to care too much. A Stonebank will try to TP away, and he does make it home. They just don't quite have the damage.
Yeah, I'm really surprised we didn't see Mariano chain up with the Solar Guardian there, Ben. I feel like they might be able to get it, and now, there's your Solar Guardian, but a lot of damage.
It
They
didn't
still need to
hit
break
Bloody
this
Nine,
up.
though. Oh. Get the stun onto B9, you can cancel out that Fiend's Grip. Without it, he still dies, but they are looking to make this a pretty solid trade. As Ollie gets taken down, Yaren is not going to be able to get himself away here as they... Okay. Saying they were slowed up for just a moment, but Lumiere is still able to connect with the final right-click. Yaren will fall. They at least get the Ember Spirit out. Ryoya makes his escape, but that was an interesting play. Solid play to get the kill to Mariano if you're DogChamp, but then you just sort of stick around too long, and the secondary engagement catches them off guard.
Yep, and of course, that's where PP is still the driver of this game. It really is the Storm Spirit kind of doing whatever he wants. Of course, being able to play in the really dangerous sections of the map because he has Genic right behind him. At the end of the day, any attempt onto PP is most likely just going to be a kill on Genic in the worst case scenario, but that's also where Mariano, he's got a smoke. They would love Ryoya, but it's a little bit strange right now. And this ward from DogChamp has done so much. Ping should be coming out here. They should be a little bit aware. Ryoya's not acting like he knows about this smoke coming, but I think that's also where Infinity swinging wide here. They might end up missing if they take too long.
I was going to try and look for something. PP right behind him. They can find a kill if they just hit a target. The problem is, as you said, they swing a little too wide, and there's no one to actually hit up. So DogChamp walk away. That was the Battle Fury. It's finished off on Stonebank. Yes, indeed. So it's going to take him a little while still to catch up to Lumiere. You see him about 1600 behind, but a Battle Fury will help to close that gap. Of course.
Yeah, and they're moving, right? BKB, or not BKB, Blink Dagger on Ollie as well. This is kind of nice timing from them.
Still going to need some time for that Battle Fury to actually do its work, but create that kind of space right now because Infinity are not quite getting out across the map in the way I think that they wanted when they picked Lumiere this hero. They're hitting up on a tier 2 right now, but DogChamp still have the opportunity to TP heroes in to defend it, so progress is a little bit slower, and see what DogChamp can do with the extra time.
Yeah, and they are still reacting more or less to their opponents pushing in their buildings as they kind of have to here, but really through the deep vision, through the scans, they've kind of stopped dying, and dying especially on heroes like the Ember Spirit and the Ursa. Stonebank's really just been able to farm kind of by himself here as they narrowly avoid finding Prada here. Really nice word again from Infinity. They have these really niche, small spots of vision that they always decide to play around. But I feel like this is where we might need a smoke from DogChamp. We've got grip. We've had grip for about 2 or 3 minutes now. Unfortunately, the BKB was just finished up on that Nature's Prophet, but I kind of feel like DogChamp are itching for a play. They really haven't been the aggressors in quite some time now, and they don't need to be, but every play they make is just going to be another minute or two where Stonebank can be completely safe here. I'm also a little bit afraid of what Infinity can do once they have enough tools to threaten, let's say, the Roshan attempt.
See who blinks first, who sort of makes the first move here, because I've not seen too much in the way of aggressive move. There's been plenty of movement between these lanes from both sides. It's just hasn't really turned into an engagement for a little while here. So I'll see. Is it Ollie with the Blink Dagger who tries to make a move, or could we see the relocate play? Could we see the duel for Mariano be the instigating sort of factor for them? Or they could just zip directly in onto Yaren, and now they're going to throw the duel down. Okay. They find their play eventually, but and they do with this kill. They're going to summon up the trance. They're going to try and get onto this tier 2 tower, and DogChamp don't really have anyone to defend this. They might just have to let this go.
Yep, no glyph for 3 minutes as well. This is quite a nice timing for Infinity to play in. They can take this tier 2 into capping the outpost and then immediately into Roche. That's kind of their easy move across the map here. They need to be careful about venturing too close to that high ground vision though. V9 is still the controller there. They especially don't want to break up on Mariano here, and Mariano, nobody can help you, but there's the heal, the double heal. Everybody needs to get out now in DogChamp, but PP.
Whoa! Just goes in there. He was briefly hit up by the Fiend's Grip, but he is able to get himself out. They find the kill onto B9. He pulls away. That could have been very dangerous, but they're able to pull it out. Prada will, yeah, still end up dying there, but what else can they do? PP is playing a very dangerous game at this point. He's going to get rooted up. Mariano trying to come in, but while they do so, they lost Genic on the back line, and then PP gets hit up by the Illuminate. This is going terribly. Mariano has to run. He's got the DOT on him. He's not actually going to be able to make it out. They'll just lock him down with the Searing Chains, and not entirely sure what that was about, as Lumiere might be able to kill off Ollie here. He needs to hit the right one. He will do so, but Stonebank coming in for the right clicks. Prophet may be taken down. He is knocked out of his own sprout. And that allows Stonebank to get the final hit in there. So it is a bit of a delayed 5-man wipe, but DogChamp do still clean up everybody there. And I don't really know what happened. Mariano gets jumped in on right away. The Solar Guardian wasn't super effective. PP zipped into losing 2/3 of his health. It's just all sorts of weird moves from Infinity.
Yeah, no, and it all comes back to Mariano not only not finding the initial blink initiation, but they move past their supports. Prada's a melee hero. He needs help to walk up. Ooh, Mariano tried to steal the Roche. That was actually pretty close to being a snatch from the Ursa, but yeah, they just lead a little bit too far forward with that Legion Commander. You don't have the Dispel immediately onto the Storm Spirit. Everything feels really disjointed, disconnected. And then BKBs are spent. Your Nature's Prophet just kind of gets ran down all the way. He can't afford to TP out. And a lot of time wasted now because the Aegis is in the hands of DogChamp. And this is going to be Stonebank really being able to buy whatever item he wants that isn't a BKB in the meantime. Not saying he even wants a BKB, but it just means you get to play completely aggressive here. It's where this really early basher is going to really work for him. If he can get a Scotty, that'd be even better in this game. And okay, again, very scary.
Oh, Genic, that's just so unfortunate. He tries to tether his way in, immediately gets blown up, and they catch any more. Prada's going to try and sort of split off here just to attract attention so that no one's chasing after his cores, and it'll work, but it does mean that Prada's going to go down here.
That's super easy. Two nice, clean kills from Stonebank. That's the Basher flying out now as well. I don't know if this game gets easier for you if you're Infinity. Infinity kind of missed their mark there. That was a huge window for them to really just continue accelerating forward. At the end of the day, there are going to be, a lot of power spikes down the road here. But we need to see, I think, especially these Orchids built up. I want to see the Nature's Prophet build one up as well, so they can really try and punish this Ursa if Stonebank is going to get greedy on his item builds. But they need to force Stonebank into those defensive items. Without it, I mean, you look at his shift queue, he's looking at Satanic next. That's where your limited damage is really going to come to bite you. As top, again, PP, he needs help.
They just can't really do enough for him. Genek's healing is insufficient. He's actually now going to die, and Prada, who jumped in with the Guardian, is now stuck in the fight as well, so catching one hero turns into killing three, and DogChamp, they've been able to sort of consistently do this as well. PP, he is sort of suffering for this Kaya Sanj build. In a lot of instances, this is a BKB instead, and a BKB probably would have kept him alive there.
Yeah, and well, now do we split push? Do we look for the other sides of the map? It's where Mariano is skulking in the trees right now. He's looking for, I think, specifically the Coddle TPing back here, and then maybe he can get a kill alongside Lumiere. They are doing a really good job here, and there is the prize. That's Yarn walking up here.
Okay, got the duel. Will they have enough damage to get the win? No, but they should still find the kill. There it is. Lumiere is able to clean it up, so there's your pick, but Stonebank is kind of coming over. I don't think he's going to actually reach anyone in time. Lumiere's already TPing, and Mariano should get out as well, but PP got caught again. In the middle lane, just stunned up, taken down, and yeah, I don't know, man. At this point, like, that BKB purchase just looks, or theoretical purchase looks better and better, because this Kaya Sanj is not doing him any favors.
No, he's kind of just dying anyways. It's also where I think, unfortunately, between the lineup as product gets gone on here, and yeah, this might be a little bit of an overextension from the Chaos Knight. I should probably get cleaned up here. That's that Sprout, that's that Treant that blocks you out with the Ag Shard, but it looks like everyone else would be able to disengage. But I think that's where in the lineup for Infinity, Mariano wants to be in the side lanes. He does not want to be sitting behind the Storm Spirit as Lumiere. Oh my goodness.
Shadow
No
Blade.
vision. B9 doesn't have anything to give for his team.
Uh-oh. See Mariano, though. They were able to root him up. He purges it away, but he's now still put under by the sleep, and Stonebank is going to start looking for the damage. He's got the bash in there as well. Mariano's dead, and well, they may not have gotten the first kill that they wanted, but they will still find something, and DogChamp, it's like night and day here. Game 2 compared to what they were doing in Game 1. They just look so much more confident in their own ability and their own sort of cohesion as a team.
I know, they got rid of speed, and then this happens. It's crazy. But it all jest. But yeah, I think Infinity are kind of pulling in two different directions right now. They have this global strat. They've got these pickoffs that they should be able to get up with each other. Just doesn't feel like it's been happening for them. And unfortunately, if they're not finding the pickoffs, well, their team fight is not the greatest. It's where really losing tools like the arena, like having a hero like the Timbersaw just running in causing chaos isn't really there. They have a blink duel, and then they have a very long engagement that's majorly carried by PP on the Storm Spear, just creating plays. It's where I think DogChamp this time around kind of learned their lesson. They're playing more of a numbers game. They have BKBs earlier than their opponents. They have useful items. They're just simply outlasting Infinity right now, and I don't think Infinity can really afford to play like that. It's where I think we are going to see them get a little bit more scared, waiting for these bigger items. I mean, up until a few moments ago, Lumiere was going to get by this Gleipnir, and then maybe you'd have some more of that AoE team fight to go around, but they really are lacking any large-scale fight, and they're not finding pickoffs. So that's why they're really starting to fall behind.
I was watching Lumiere there. Bit of an interesting thing, maybe a bit of a PSA there. He TP'd onto the ward spot here in the east side jungle, took the camp. A neutral item dropped, but where he was standing on that little cliff, the item didn't actually get high enough up for him to click it. It stayed on the ground, so eventually he TP'd away. B9 then just sort of came in and stole that item away, so did not really know that that's how that worked. Apparently there isn't enough space for the item to get all the way up onto the high ground. As Genek, what are you doing here? That's a little bit of a weird one. Trying to take the outpost, I assume, but instead gives Ryoya a quick and easy kill, and then Mariano's left by himself as Stonebank makes his move.
Yeah, and as soon as they get the kills here, then they start walking to the other side of the map. It's where really Yarn is not skipping a beat. I want to see him get the Ag Shard. Doesn't have it flying out on the courier just yet, but then they really are matching the global team in terms of their presence here. And DogChamp will take the kills. They'll take killing off your main kind of problem starter, your main team fight haver. And I think that is one of the biggest problems right now that Infinity are having. Whenever Mariano gets picked off, whenever PP is on the sidelines, whenever you don't have either of them, you can't do anything on the map. Your heroes just can't start anything. They're so reliant on these two heroes to actually be alive. Whenever DogChamp kills them off or finds the picks onto those players, they just take the map. They get to play with full confidence. They get to play in 3 lanes at the same time and the jungle. And I think that's where this net worth lead is really falling. They just have not been able to keep that pressure on with those heroes dying so consistently. Just not a clean game from those two players, and because of it, I think the rest of the lineup is really starting to suffer here. At least they have a high ground ward that they're able to play upon right now. And you've got the creep push from the Nature's Prophet. That's always going to be a factor here. But seeing this Ursa on level footing with the Nature's Prophet, they're just completely different animals.
Stonebank is looking very impressive. He's got Satanic. He's working towards Daedalus. He can upgrade that Basher to the Abyssal. Maybe not as his next play after the Daedalus, but sometime in the near future. So he's just going to get stronger and stronger, and Lumiere has a similar net worth, but if they have to go up against each other, Prophet doesn't win that. There's just no way. So Stonebank is maybe able to make more effective use of the gold that he has, even though he hasn't pulled as far away.
And well, look at this. Bottom lane, they see Mariano, and Mariano...
Oh, standing underneath the ward. He's not dead yet, so Prada tried to come in to help. I think he might have just sacrificed himself as well. So they'll find that first kill. Chaos Bolt will connect. Prada's going to get pulled back in by the Reality Rift. They will find that kill. Meanwhile, in the river, Ryoya trying to make something happen here. PP is right-clicking as fast as he can, but Ryoya doesn't really seem to care. He's going to keep on chasing. He finds the kill on Genik, and boy, Infinity are just getting a little bit overwhelmed here. This is starting to look like a little bit of what Infamous were able to do to them yesterday, where they just kind of break them apart bit by bit.
At the very least, PP has an Orchid now. Maybe they can force an error out of Ryoya if they can catch him with that silence, especially in that Sprout. We could see them take down this Ember Spirit, but that was just a pitiful fight between the Io and the Storm versus the Ember. It's where the Lincoln Sphere has just been the perfect decision for him, and it's killed really any aggression here, and PP not having the farm or really any of the space to change up his items all too much. He's kind of having to sit with not really the ideal, and with 45 seconds onto Roche, the question becomes whether or not Infinity can actually willingly take that fight. And I'm looking at the other aspects of their team. There's no BKB on Mariano. He had to give up. He had to buy the Sanjin components to feel like he can make anything happen. And they could smoke now, but again, it's always a smoke onto one. It's a smoke looking for a hero, and they're going to break onto Yaren here, and they'd love a Yaren, but it's taking so long. They get scared. Lumiere gets really ran back here, and they place the vision, but is it time to go already?
Mariano's going to get caught out. Genik, that's not where you wanted to be. He didn't know it until it was too late. Now they're just going to get run at. They've lost 2 already. Prada's going to get caught on the high ground. Ryoya just sidesteps a Starbreaker hit as well. This is going terribly. 3 heroes dead. Lumiere is not really going to... Ooh. Going to have the opportunity to do too much split pushing here is what I was going to say. The Treants are still going to work, though, but... That's an interesting one from Ollie. He just sort of passes by, doesn't see him, so he'll leave, and Lumiere can do a little bit more. The Sprout, TP away, he'll get some greater treants that he can send out there again, and might just have to be the end.
And Roche is dead, because there isn't a whole lot to do right now. Full Daedalus almost finished up on that Ursa as well, so these later BKBs aren't even really going to matter here. It's just a huge struggle. We just haven't seen Infinity really find a fight, do a fight that they want to get on. I think without that BKB on the LC, it's still very difficult. They love Ryoya, though. But they need to get the jump, and he feels like something's up, so he simply leaves. It's the one great thing about this Ember Spirit. As soon as you feel like you're in danger, you do just get that escape. Almost has his Aghanim Scepter as well. Then Ryoya really is going to be everywhere on the map. I am just looking for that light at the end of the tunnel, that big power spike coming in, and I'm not really seeing it. We need to see Infinity get a good jump. They just are not finding anything. I feel like they haven't gotten a kill in almost 10 minutes.
It's just sort of slowed to a crawl for them, and Lumiere's split push play is kind of the only thing that's really in their favor right now. And even that's a little bit iffy, whether or not it's actually favorable for them. But they're going to try and get themselves in here. Same spot they got caught out last time. There's no ward this time around, though, for Prada to get caught. But still an awkward scenario for them. Although Yaren, okay. He's going to get jumped in on. There's the duel. They don't really have enough damage to kill him off in the duration of that duel, but they should still find the kill. Maybe not. Yaren on the run, not taken down yet. Meanwhile, PP got himself caught out. He's the one to fall. Now Stonebank joins the fight, and Infinity, I mean, they've just lost it. They can't get anything. Skenek, yeah, relocates, gonna pull him back. Stonebank finds the kill, and there's just no play that they can seemingly make right now. They're going to get onto Ollie mid, okay. This might just be it. Finally finding a kill for themselves there, but... well, Lumiere was able to just sort of do that by himself while the entire rest of the team got picked off elsewhere.
Yeah, and I feel like that is a little bit of a stroke of fortune, but all of that really goes down because PP is just walking to the fight. He gets caught by the Bane, he gets chained up, he gets full duration gripped, he doesn't have his teammate behind him, but again, I feel like that's where this Legion Commander is just not really fulfilling the role they need him to. It hasn't been a reactionary save. Mariano still looking for those picks, still trying to be a Legion Commander. Maybe if those earlier duels were more successful, but he's just not been able to get the snowball rolling. I mean, I think he only has 1 or 2 duel wins. It's still just very, very sad here as, okay, fight, team fight without the CK. Very scary, but what do they do?
Just not able to really get all of their damage focused onto one target as Lumiere has to defensively sprout to make sure he doesn't get taken down. He'll look for the TP home, and PP, that's a very nice play, getting the Electric Vortex in just to make sure Stonebank wasn't able to hit up that Prophet. The problem is, Infinity still had to fall back. They ran with everyone, Gennett gets caught, and that was a fight that they initiated. That was an attempt that they were making onto DogChamp, and they ended up having to run from their own setup.
And, well, immediately onto the tower. Stonebank does a lot of damage with that Daedalus. Your CK gets to respawn. You still have a minute and a half on that Aegis. And now Infinity are back to split pushing. They have to just kind of do whatever they can. At the very least, you know, they do have the Storm Spirit. He is able to just do that. So that's pretty obnoxious if you're DogChamp. But at the same time, oh, Mariano, nice blink. That was extremely close. But with the wave gone, and Yaren actually taking a lot of damage there. No Glimmer Cape. Has a Lincoln Sphere, though, so he's not really going to be a target either. But Lumiere, did he just give up his positioning? There's a gem on the Ember. Really, I can check all of these trees. But it looks like he will give up a little bit early there.
He's able to make it away.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, this is still getting a little iffy. Ooh, Stonebank. Can they get vision right now? No, they can't. Okay, crisis averted. Is able to fall back, creating a little bit of a distraction, but they're still losing that base slowly but surely. Tier 3's down, and DogChamp, I guess they're going to lose the Aegis in, like, yeah, 45 seconds, so I don't know if they're going to have another chance to push the high ground with that second life up, but at this point I'm not even 100% sure that they need the Aegis. It's kind of just an insurance policy for them. They've been pretty dominant in these fights regardless.
Yeah, they get to kind of do whatever they want. 23k gold up. We're going to be looking at that third Roche, see what the timer has in store for us. The Stonebank's Aegis will time out pretty soon here, but unfortunately for the rest of Infinity, he's looking at that MKB. Once he has it, your Halberd's not going to do all too much for you. Same with that Butterfly up on Lumiere. It's where, unfortunately, the Butterfly not giving you any really additional damage, just a lot of attack speed, a lot of evasion is going to kind of fall by the wayside. He's looking for a Hex on Lumiere. That would be huge, especially because of how few defensive items we are seeing from that Ursa, but that's where, unfortunately, double Lincolns, the Force Staffs, the Nightmare, the Glimmer Cape, even if they dump everything onto this Ursa, I don't know if they break through them, especially with the Satanic always being a threat in the back. Hits 25 on Ursa, no less. This game is just kind of spiraling as Stonebank just blinks onto the tower. Oh, almost got the blink disable. That was such a good attempt from Stonebank.
Oh, okay. Ollie jumps in there, throws out the bolt. That's going to force Lumiere's BKB, but now the Sprout, never mind. Force Staff's going to get him right on out of that PP. Zips in a little bit too late, but Stonebank jumps in. He got the Abyssal Blade stun down. Mariano's dropping low. Mariano's going to get taken down. The Solar Guardian is not all that effective. And now with the Blinding Light, they've actually broken up this really quartet of heroes. Gennett falls, Prada's gone as well. There's buyback available on the Io, and really that's it. So DogChamp have their way in for another lane of... not another lane of racks. This would be the first, because they didn't actually get onto the mid lane, but at this point, with these heroes dead, once they clean this up, they could rotate over, but that Glyph is going to slow them down a little bit.
Let's see. Does the backdoor come back in time? Not for the melee, unfortunately, as Ollie is kind of, yeah, left here. If he gets sprouted, he can actually TP away. It's where maybe DogChamp have made a little bit of a mistake here as Lumiere. Oh, he did BKB.
Oh.
He didn't have it.
Well, this is going to get a little awkward. Lumiere is going to be defended as he falls back. Now he'll turn around for the sprout onto the Ursa, but I don't know if they have the damage for this. Mariano gets pulled in by the Reality Rift, stunned up by the Chaos Bolt. They'll take him down. Yaren is the one to sneak the kill, and this is going to be a little bit tough as Ollie jumps in. Ryoya's onto the back line as well. They need to be able to take down Genic quickly. They haven't actually finished him off just yet, but they did get the Fiend's Grip onto Lumiere. Genic is going to try to get his teammate out of there, but he gets pushed back. Both will fall. Lumiere dead. Genic dead. Prada dead. PP is alive, but ineffective at this point. So, DogChamp... Actually, where are their creeps? They're still out of the base, so the backdoor protection kind of kicks in and buys some time. There's PP just continuing to try and get as many of those creeps dead as he possibly can, but is now kind of stuck out of the base. Would have to pop that TP, but nobody really wants to chase him because... I mean, they could just end the game right now. They're going to go in, they take the middle lane of Rax, they'll look for the tier 4s. There are some buybacks available, and at this point, Infinity really don't have any choice. They're going to have to use them, but want to hold for as long as they can. But their tier 4s are dying, ET. If Lumiere's not coming back in now, I don't really know what the plan is.
Yeah, it feels like they're a little bit defeated. They're waiting for that Dawnbreaker, and they got to go now.
Okay. They get the Vortex onto multiple heroes. There's going to be the Dawnbreaker jumping in with the Guardian. They got the duel onto the Ursa. Can they bring him down? Not just yet. Satanic popped. He's going to heal all the way to full, and that's game over right there. 5-man wipe, GG called, and well, Infinity wanted to give it one last attempt, but DogChamp holds strong, and they do get that 1-1 split.
Yeah, they get the 1-1 split. They feel pretty happy about it. Yet again, another team alongside there. Infinity don't really care too much about losing this game, but that's going to put DogChamp just a step maybe further ahead of Akori and Osmium. It's where, you know, honestly, every game matters. It's where those teams are so close. There were so many 2-0s at the beginning of Phase 2 that these 1-1s are really going to tighten things up here. And this is DogChamp. I don't want to say maybe getting a little bit ahead here. They still have a lot of games to play, which I think is honestly to their benefit. But it's where maybe you get just one game ahead of Osmium, where you look at upper bracket and you say, is DogChamp really going to make upper bracket? It's a thought. It's something that DogChamp are certainly playing around. But man, Ollie, two-based. We're looking good. That was a nice CK game. That was kind of exactly what they needed. He wasn't maybe the most farmed on the hero that we've seen by any offlaner, any safe laner we've seen play it, but at the same time, I feel like he was kind of the catalyst. He had a really solid lane, didn't really give up too many kills versus Lumiere. Prado wasn't really able to shut him down either. I feel like it even swung the other way where he was getting really all he needed from that lane and then killing off the 5, so kind of felt nice. I think really Infinity just kind of fell apart with their game plan here. And again, I brought it up in the middle of the game. Mariano and PP fell really hard out of this game. They were not getting plays. Mariano already was not getting a whole lot of duel damage. You don't see that snowball effect in the LC in very similar fashion to the Marses that we also see. Once you start losing, once you start falling behind, once your first few ultimates don't pan out for you, the blink comes a little bit slower, the next item comes a little bit slower, and unfortunately for Mariano, we really didn't see a next item. And as soon as he is forced off of that BKB, well, even if the grip is used, your duels just aren't successful. You aren't finding anything. The Ursa was a little bit too farmed. And Stonebank, man, he's pretty sick at this Ursa. I feel like this is his most successful hero in the tournament so far.
Yeah, he's been so impressive with it. He gets that Battle Fury at a decent time, and then he's unbelievably efficient once he's picked that up. I mean, we just kept on talking about those items just coming in one after another for him. So he was able to farm well, and he was able to stay involved in the fights while he was farming on top of that, which is something that Infinity really could not match up with. And I don't know. I mean, we pointed it out during the game itself. PP not going for a BKB really kind of hurt him because then his initiations really just turned into suicidal plays more often. So a combination of Infinity maybe dropping the ball and DogChamp really honing in on what worked best for them in this game.
Yeah, and, you know, can't say it enough. Infinity don't really care. They had a really good group stage. If they start dropping games here at the end, they've had a pretty rough past 2 days, getting 2-0'd and then getting 1-1 versus a team that I feel like coming into this, they were very confident. Coming out of game one, super confident, but that's where Boris, the X Factor, the CK, the stand-ins from the dark, and we'll see. Maybe next time we see these teams face off, if we do, it's a very different DogChamp that we might see.
Yeah, you never know what the lineup's going to look like with this dog sort of configuration. But for now, they walk away with a 1-1 split. So they get points on the board. Always going to be nice for them. Infinity, meanwhile, with their point as well, get a little bit closer to trying to catch up to a wild card and a little bit closer to securing an upper spot. So with that in mind, we are done with our third series here. We do have one more on the schedule. It is a matchup from the bottom of the standings right now. The Cut going to be taking on the Mystery Machine coming up next. However, before we do move on to that final series, we do have a little bit of ad time.